What is up, guys? Today I'll be going over my top 5 favorite heroes in Marvel Champions, and I want to give a huge shout out to Melly, who commented on a video that I did, I think like 2 years ago, talking about my top 5 favorite heroes. But that list has changed a little bit here. So yeah, this is the 2026 version of that, and I have all 5 of the heroes right here with their cards face down, so you guys don't know what it is. Let's just go ahead and jump straight into it. So this list is for not the strongest heroes in the game, but my personal favorite heroes that I love to play a lot. So we're gonna go by like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because I want to add some suspense. I think everyone already knows who my favorite hero is. So this is gonna be my number 1 favorite hero in Marvel Champions, and that is Peter Parker Spider-Man. Okay, so Spider-Man here, he is super duper thematic. We have him with the special case here because he's my favorite hero all time. And what I really like about Spider-Man is that I grew with Spider-Man playing Marvel Champions. As I, first started playing Marvel Champions, I wasn't that good, and Spider-Man was a little bit weaker. Then as I got better at piloting and playing the game, Spider-Man got a lot more powerful. And I love how simple his kit is. I love being able to grow with the hero. And to me, he is Marvel Champions himself. He has Spider Sense here, super duper thematic. When a villain initiates an attack against you, you sense it, and then you draw a card. In alter ego here, he's Peter Parker. Scientist generates a mental resource. He's a genius. So flipping down to alter ego gives you extra resources, which Spider-Man always does, in Peter Parker form to, experiment stuff, find a way to take on the villains that he needs to take down here. And in his kit here, he has a swing web kick, the iconic, attack event here. 3-cost event, deals 8 damage to enemy. Super duper simple, but even to this day, it has not been power creeped. There's no attack event that's straight up better than swing web kick, right? It'll be more cost, or have like a kicker they had to pay for like a specific resource or something like that to get off more damage or an extra effect. You have your web shooters here, super thematic. This is not the best resource generator in the game, but whenever one runs out of web fluid, then you cannot generate resources anymore. So very thematic. Spider-Man have 2 copies of this card in his kit. You have the enhanced spiral sense to cancel out treacheries. You have webbed up. This card is one of the weaker cards in Spider-Man's kit, but it's actually really fun, and it saved my butt several times just webbing up, constantly on the villain so they can't attack for 2 activations. Very cool. And we have Aunt May, who, in my opinion, really solidifies Peter Parker's kit and makes him really powerful. As an alter ego action, she can exhaust herself to heal 4 damage from Peter Parker here. Yeah, this card is amazing. It really makes Peter Parker feel like Spider-Man because when I'm playing him, I can take a bunch of damage to the face and then still recover all that back up because Aunt May heals you by so much. She's still tied here for the best healing card in all Marvel Champions, and it allows for my favorite playstyle with Spider-Man, which is to take a bunch of damage recklessly and then heal it back up. And instead of the exhausted defender, we just take all the hits to the face because Peter can do that, and Aunt May can heal us back up. So that's my favorite strategy with Spider-Man. With the Spider traces here, also super thematic. Black Cat, and of course we have the backflips here when you would take any amount of damage and attack, prevent all the damage. The best defensive event in all of Marvel Champions here, to the core set of heroes. So yeah, for all of these reasons, it feels super thematic whenever I'm playing Spider-Man. I like taking a bunch of hits to the face and healing all that back up. So yeah, I think that's an easy choice for me. You guys know my channel, Web-Warrior Fanatic. So of course, Spider-Man is still my favorite hero since I first started playing Marvel Champions and all the way up to now in 2026. So he has the first spot right here, and we'll put his hero cards aside here. So yeah, that is revealing my favorite hero in all Marvel Champions. Okay, let's go over my second favorite hero here. And this one I believe is different than what the video, but I think it is the same for a long time, and that is Cyclops. He is definitely my second favorite hero in Marvel Champions because he's also very thematic, but I love the way that they designed his kit here. So everyone knows Cyclops has his Optic Blaster, the Concussive Blast. As an action on his hero form, you can spend 1 resource of any type to do 3 damage to an enemy with an upgrade attached limit once per round. If you know anything about Cyclops, he is a very tactical person. He's one of the best leaders in all of Marvel. So he can't just Optic Blast everywhere and just, like destroy everybody. He only wants to Optic Blast in a controlled situation. So in order to do that, he's going to need his tactic upgrades, like the practice defense, attach enemy, max 1 per enemy, or the there's another practice defense, priority target, attach to enemy, max 1 per enemy. You have to attach this stuff, exploit weakness as well as another one, to the enemy for Cyclops to use this Optic Blast, on that enemy. So I think that is super cool, super fun, and super thematic. that the way that his kit is designed is not just about, doing much of damage, but being a leader. So he has the few commander here. I love this card, especially in multiplayer. You take the first turn during the player phase. So you kind of get to like change how Marvel Champions works instead of passing that first player token around. Cyclops always takes the first turn because he is the few commander. And to play your tactic upgrades right here, you have to be during your turn to play it, right? So like actions like his Thor event, Tactical Brilliance, you can play this out of turn during another player's turn as long as it's during the player phase. But for these upgrades, you can only play them during Cyclops' turn. So we always get the first turn with our few commander. That allows us to play our upgrades, first, and then other people can do other stuff during their turn. But we get to have the first turn as Cyclops. And one of my favorite things about Cyclops is, of course, his alter ego here as Scott Summers. You may include X-Men allies from any aspect in your deck, super thematic to the leader of the X-Men. And he also has constant training here. As an action, search your deck for any tactic upgrade and add to your hand limit once per round. That feels super tactical playing as Cyclops here to tutor these upgrades to his hand whenever he needs one. There's different effects here for whichever one that he needs for whatever specific situation. And Tactical Brilliance here to remove 3 from a scheme. Choose a tactic card in your discard pile, add to your hand, so we can pick these upgrades here or any other tactic card, add it back to your hand. So there's a lot of cycling stuff going on with Cyclops to bring this to his hand from his deck, or brings to the hand from his discard pile and then play it on a situation that we need. If he was very tactical, a lot of planning out is needed for Cyclops, and I love that puzzle with him. So yeah, super duper fun hero. Definitely my second favorite hero in all of Marvel Champions, and I think he's one of the strongest heroes in the game, also because of his ability to include X-Men allies from many aspects. So yeah, he is definitely deserving of the second spot here for 2026, my second favorite hero. So let's set his cards aside. Now we're gonna go over my third favorite hero here in Marvel Champions, and you guys, I think showed it a little bit. Probably already know if you've been following my channel, but that is Cable, Scott's son here. We have Nathan Summers here. So Cable, in my opinion, is the strongest hero in Marvel Champions, but I also love playing his kit a lot. I feel that he's super thematic, and I like his mechanics. So he has a 2 Thor, 2 attack, 2 defense, and then as a response, after Cable defeats a side scheme, you can ready him, limit once per phase. That is Cable's main gimmick here. He wants to defeat side schemes because all of his cards ramp up whenever side schemes are defeated, right? So his like Mind Skin, his Thor event here, remove 3 threat from the scheme, remove 1 additional threat for each side scheme in victory display. So if you clear out the side schemes, have them in victory display, then Mind Skin does more threat removal. TK Blast here, same thing, but for damage, do 6 damage to enemy, 1 additional damage for each side scheme in that victory display. And Cable, with his alter ego ability here, you may include players' side schemes from any aspect in your deck. Very similar to Cyclops. I love the theme on that the Summers have like a similar deck build ability. And Soldier X is set up here. Search your deck and discard pile for any player's side scheme put into play. You start off any game or every single game with whatever player side scheme that you want the most for that game. That is the most consistent ability ever to be able to start off the most consistent games with Cable. And yeah, he just has amazing first turns because of that. Because you can grab Call for Backup to get like an ally like Nick Fury, or you can grab build support to get like Grey Malkin, right? Plasma Rifle on-demand weapon upgrade, also doing damage for each side scheme in victory display. Grey Malkin is like one of the best resource generators in the game because after a side scheme is defeated, you can ready it back up and you can exhaust generate energy resource. So just keep on using it and keep on readying up several times for defeating multiple side schemes, every single turn. And he's also got some crazy stuff with the precognition here to scry at the encounter deck for each side scheme in victory display. Very, very powerful. Cable's got all the psionic stuff going on here whenever he clears off the Technovirus Purge, or whenever it's cleared off in the victory display. Cable gains psionic trait and +1 to all of his stats. So yeah, he was very thematic to Cable. He's got the guns, he's got the psionic stuff. Super duper fun, clearing multiple side schemes every single turn, and then getting the raise on that and getting like special effects on all of your cards that work off and synergize with side schemes. So yeah, another one of my favorite heroes, and I think he is also peak Marvel Champions here, going in spot number 3. Okay, for my fourth favorite hero in Marvel Champions, this is a newer hero here, and this may be a little bit controversial. So we have Silk here. Probably a lot of bias, from me, but she is a web warrior that was released in 2025. So one of the newer heroes here, and I love that her kit, or at least her stat line, is pretty similar to Peter Parker's Spider-Man because they were bit by the same very active spider here with the 1 Thor, 2 attack, 3 defense. A lot of the Spider characters like Ghost Spider also has that similar stat line. And the thing that I love about Silk is that she is a really cool alter ego hero. If you guys know me, I love looking down to alter ego. And that's one of the playstyles I love the most with Spider-Man. I like doing that with Cyclops and Cable as well. But Silk is an alter ego killer here. So in her alter ego, she's a genius, and as an action, you can discard a card tucked here to draw 2 cards, limit once per round. That is extremely powerful. And the way that she works is that you want to defeat side schemes and minions, and she can tuck them underneath her identity card, or whenever you review a treachery, right? With Silk Sensor, that's a response. After you defeat a minion or side scheme or resolve a treachery, tuck the card under here from the encounter discard pile, and Silk remembers those cards tucked under her with her eidetic memory. So she's able to, plan out and fight the villain using those cards tucked under her as like fuel and just having that memory against them, right? So some of her cards here with Albert Moon, which is her persona, her brother here, and as an alter ego action, more alter ego shenanigans with Silk. You can exhaust him to either tuck the top card of the encounter deck under Cindy Moon, so you get a free tuck card, or you can heal 1 damage from Cindy Moon for each card tucked under her. So this can potentially be like the same healing as an anime if you have the max 4 cards tucked underneath Silk here. So that can be a lot of fun to have her heal back a lot, and it gives you the option to tuck a card if you need that extra tuck, right? So I think that for Silk, it's a fun puzzle to try to like defeat certain minions and side schemes and get the tuck card under her, because a lot of her effects discards those tuck cards to do extra effects, based on if she's attacking or thwarting or interacting with the same module or same encounter set as that tuck card, right? So let's take a look a little bit about that. Let's look at the eidetic memory here. So the 1 cost upgrade, it will just stay in play forever. And as interrupt, when you review a card from the same encounter set as the card tucked under your identity, you can exhaust the eidetic memory and swap those cards. Then you review the card that was tucked under Silk instead. So, for example, if we're talking about like an encounter set, we can take a look at the standard encounter set with like an advance, with caught off guard, with assault, and shadow of the past. If you review like a shadow of the past, but you don't want to deal with it, you can use eidetic memory and swap the shadow of the past with a caught off guard if you have that tucked under Silk. So now you review caught off guard, super easy card to deal with, instead of revealing that nasty shadow of the past. So yeah, that is very fun to do. If you have like an advance, you can swap out the advance with another standard card like the caught off guard, for example. So basically, whenever Silk defeats like weak side schemes or weak minions from like the encounter set of like the villain, and the villain deals you like their activation card from that same encounter set, you can swap it out with that memory. And one of my favorite things about this is that it's not a hero interrupt. So you can actually use it in alter ego here. And you guys know I love flipping down to alter ego, getting the economy from drawing cards from Cindy Moon here, and then also being able to trigger stuff like Albert Moon. So yeah, she is like an amazing alter ego hero, and that's one of my favorite things about her. Let's take a look at some of her other kicker stuff here. So we have like the swing silk kick, similar to a swing web kick, 3 cost event, but this one only does 7 damage to the enemy. But you may discard a card tucked under silk from the same encounter set as the enemy that you're attacking with this card. If you do that, the attack gains deals 2 additional damage and gains overkill. So then it's 9 damage with overkill, but there's a kicker of discarding a tuck card in order to do that. If you don't do that, it's just 3 for 7. So very well balanced with the swing web kick, but you get the additional kicker to do more damage if you want to. Her Thor event also works in a similar way. And then the strongest card in your kit is definitely going to be the organic webbing here. It's her 2-cost upgrade. Silk gets +1 Thor. As a hero action, you exhaust organic webbing, discard a card tucked under Silk to ready her back up, and she gains the arrow trait into another round. So it's nice to give her arrow there because she's swinging with her organic webs, but then you also have to decide which card you want to discard that's tucked under her, and then how you can get another tuck card back to replace that card. So yeah, a very fun and unique puzzle here with Silk. She is, probably has some bias because she's a web warrior and a new web warrior, so I was pretty hyped for her. But yeah, she is currently my 4th favorite hero to play in Marvel Champions. I've had a bumpy ride with her. So like whenever I first played her, she was like maybe top 2. Then she dropped down a little bit, and now she's back up a little bit as I played her more. So yeah, Silk, the 4th favorite hero for me in Marvel Champions. Let's go over the final hero in this list for my top 5. And this hero here is going to round out my top 5 list. This hero I've had a very rocky journey with. So this hero, these are the mutant heroes. They're like relatively new, like maybe like 3 years old. Silk is very new. Spider-Man's from the core set. This hero here is super duper old. One of the original heroes, not in the core set, but like, from the earlier waves. And I did not like this hero when I first played this hero, and did not like this hero for a very long time. And as new cards have come out with the card pool similar to Spider-Man, this hero's gotten a lot more powerful. But not just more powerful, I've enjoyed playing this hero a lot more as well. And yeah, let's just review him right here. So it is actually Thor. Thor is a hero you guys have probably been seeing me play a lot more, especially in 2025. Yeah, he is a super fun puzzle. So one of the things that I dislike a lot about Thor is that I just don't like weak economy heroes, and I don't like having a poor hand size. So Thor here, he has a hand size of 4 in hero form and a hand size of 5 in Artigo. All the other heroes on this list have like the average hand size of 5 in hero form and 6 in Artigo, which is, it doesn't sound like a big difference, but it's actually a huge difference in the course of a game of Marvel Champions. So Thor has that weaker hand size. But with his hero ability here, have at the as a response after you engage a minion, you can draw 2 cards. This is Thor's main mechanic here to offset that economy. And being able to utilize this is going to be a main thing to determine if you like Thor or if you don't like Thor. And I wasn't a big fan of the ability here because it's contingent on engaging minions. And I did not feel like that was reliable to the hero. It's dependent on the encounter set that I'm facing, like the villain and scenario that I'm facing, right? But as more player cards that come out, Thor has so many ways to tutor minions. And that's just super fun to like get whatever minion that you want, trade the ability, draw more cards, and just have crazy, crazy economy. And Thor's economy can definitely get up there because he already comes in with 2 resource generators in his kit. He has 2 copies of the God of Thunder here to generate an energy resource in hero form. He also has Asgard to increase his hand size. So once he gets all of that going, you can also add like the Helicarrier, Queen Carrier, and Mansion. And he just goes insane with the economy late game. It's just the early game that he struggles a little bit. But I love that puzzle of getting him built out, getting past the early game, and then he feels super rewarding and super powerful. And he is, one of the most thematic heroes in Marvel Champions, right? He's got the hammer throw here, 3-cost event. As a hero action, you have to exhaust Mjolnir. Then you can deal 8 damage to enemy, and then you have to return Mjolnir to your hand to attack against overkill. So similar to a 3 for 8 for Spider-Man, but you have to return Mjolnir back to your hand, but the attack has overkill. And Thor's got his trusty hammer right here. So every single time that I'm playing a hammer throw, I feel like I'm throwing the hammer, Mjolnir, attacking the villain, and it's coming right back here to my hand. That's so fun, guys. This is like my go-to example of why Marvel Champions is such a great game. Even before I even liked Thor, I still love the mechanic of feeling like Mjolnir is attacking the enemy and then coming flying back to my hand here. But now that I actually really enjoy playing Thor, I mean, it's even better to play hammer throws. This is not the strongest card, but it's just a very thematic card. And Mjolnir here, it's a 1-cost upgrade. Thor gets +1 attack and gains the aerial trait. Super thematic. And Alter Ego here is Alter Ego ability, Worthy. Action, search your deck and discard power for the Mjolnir upgrade. Add to your hand, shuffle your deck. I mean, I'm recurring Mjolnir over and over again for Thor, getting that +1 attack and aerial trait because Thor, he needs his trusty hammer Mjolnir here. So that feels super duper fun and super thematic. I think the thing for Thor is that I didn't really understand how to play him because now that I've enjoyed playing him and understanding him a little bit better, I went back and even with a more limited card pool of like the earlier cards, Thor is still excitingly fun and actually not as weak as I thought he was. So he's one of those heroes that can definitely be very viable in true solo in any aspect, including aggression. You can handle the Thor by himself, well, with the allies that he summons, but himself as a character. And yeah, he's definitely not as weak as a lot of people give him credit for, but as the card pool has expanded and we've gotten more stuff synergized with minions, Thor has gotten a lot more powerful and a lot more fun and more versatile across every single aspect. But even with the bearable and stuff, he's still actually a very fun and viable hero. He's just pretty difficult to pilot. But as I've gotten better at the game, Thor's one of those heroes that has definitely gotten better for me. So yeah, he is the 5th hero of my top 5 here. These are my top 5 favorite heroes in Marvel Champions, guys. Let me know down in the comments, what do you think about my list right here? This is not like the strongest heroes. A lot of them are pretty powerful heroes. I think that these 3 here are actually all S2 heroes in terms of power. So you guys can probably tell from my players that I do like playing strong heroes just because there's more versatile and more options. But they're also super thematic, right? So I love the theme of all of these guys. I love the lore and the character of all these characters. And honestly, for me, Marvel Champs is a really fun game. But I don't know if I could pick like one of my favorite characters to be my favorite if they weren't a character that I like really like from either like the comics or like from the movies or something like that, or like if I identify with a character or something, right? So I definitely need something like that. And yeah, these characters definitely all have something for me that I really like about their lore. So yeah, let me know down in the comments, guys, what do you think about my list? I hope you guys all like this video. Let me know what is your top 5 favorite heroes in Marvel Champions, and if that list has changed or evolved over time. I think that these 3 have stayed pretty solid for me for like a very long time, probably over a year. These guys have been in my maybe top 3, if not top 5. But the last 2 spots have been rotating a little bit. Yeah, but we'll see in 2026 because I know Daredevil is coming out. He may change the list here, so I'm not sure what is gonna be here with my favorites list. But right now we got this order going on right here. So yeah, very excited for 2026, guys, to see Daredevil's kids. 2025 was a great year in terms of design for Marvel Champions. We had a lot of peak hero designs. Unfortunately, just some of the characters weren't my favorite in terms of like their lore and who the character actually was. But I thought their mechanics and the maps were very cool. So very, very excited to see Daredevil, guys. All right, guys. Hope you guys enjoy this one. Stay warm in the weather, and I'll see you guys all in the next video.